The Rocky Report, brought to you by American Federal Savings Bank, First Interstate Bank, Montana Honda and Marine, Montana Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW, ProBuild, and your local Ford stores. And now from Manny's Sports and Entertainment, here's your host, Bruce Parker.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rocky Report from Manny's on West Billings off Shiloh and King. I'm Bruce Parker. Well, another great sports week for the Battling Bears athletic department as soccer opened up Frontier Conference play on the men's side, picked up a win over Carroll College. The football team on the road for the third straight week, a big win over MSU Northern and Havre, and the #1 ranked volleyball team in the country, Coach Lori Kelly's squad, picks up 2 Frontier Conference victories and starts off on a great note in league play. We're going to talk to those coaches and also be joined by Corey Bummer, the outstanding defensive back from Laurel, Montana. We'll have highlights, that, and much, much more up next on the Rocky Report.
My bank has been in Montana for over 90 years.
My bank is a real partner in my growing business.
My bank helped me make a great idea work.
My bank is American Federal.
My bank is American Federal.
Our bank is American Federal.
You live for life's finest moments, like seeing nature firsthand, teaching something old to someone new, experiencing the thrill in their face, and doing it again and again. Join us on the water in the very best boat for these moments. Tracker boats, built for life.
Montana Honda and Marine in Billings.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put him to work.
Well, as we mentioned, it was a great week for athletics at Rocky Mountain College last week. The volleyball team moves to #1 in the country. We're going to talk to Coach Kelly and some of the members of that volleyball squad and also have highlights from the Western Montana victory in volleyball at the Fortin Center on Saturday afternoon. We'll also look back on the Battling Bears victory over MSU Northern in Havre, their 3rd straight road game and their 3rd straight win. Dustin Askham of Color 8 Television has the highlights and much more.
Well, the Rocky football team had an exciting and dominant performance in Havre this weekend, but we'll get to that in just one moment. The top story this week, the Rocky volleyball team, for the first time in school history, is ranked #1 in the entire country. And to top it off, senior Yan Yan was selected as the NAIA National Player of the Week.
I think the team that's ranked #1, I mean, it's a tough thing to hold, but we have to be proud of those accomplishments because, you know, we did play well. We beat #1 and 2. If you beat #1 and 2, you probably won. And so it's a responsibility we're ready to take. Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but we're super excited about it. I mean, Brownsville and Concordia were both, and Biola even, were all great teams. So it's just such an honor to be ranked up there with them. And so going into Frontier Conference is definitely going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of deep breathing and trying to stay calm and just make sure we play our game.
Yeah, like we have the same players, and but we more mature, and we just like know we want to play better, and because it's our last chance to play together.
So Rocky returns home with that #1 ranking, hosting the Western Bulldogs. We'll pick things up here in the first set, where Paige Latimer sets up Emily Erickson of Western, and she smacks it down the baseline. Rocky still leads 13-8 though. Western again here, Erickson spiked, but she's blocked by Yan Yan and Brianna Geck. 14-9 Rocky. Rocky wins the first set. More of the same in the second set. Yan Yan and Geck with that block. Rocky, a lot of their points coming off of its blocks. Tori Birch here setting up, Aaliyah Billis finds some open space. Rocky takes the 13-5 lead. Birch this time sets up Mariah Stiffarm. Rocky with the 13-5 lead. Just too much to handle for the Bulldogs. They win in 3 sets for their 12th straight victory. The volleyball team next plays the Northern Lights on Friday, September 19th in Havre. On to a little bit of football now. Speaking of Havre, that's where the football team was today. Let's check it out. Rocky with a couple dominant performances, their third straight road game to open the season. We'll start things in the second half. Bryce Baker, the quarterback, rolls to his left, tosses the running back Frank Brown. He runs it in. The Bears are up 25-3, dominating in the second half in this one. Northern in the red zone. Lights running back Zach McKinley is stripped right here. Rocky would recover the ball. McKinley last weekend had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the Rocky defense stifled him in this game. Northern gets it back, though. Toss up right here to Trevor Baum with the jumping catch, and just a few plays later, McKinley with the chance to redeem that fumble that he had on the last drive. Doesn't quite get the first down here. Stopped again by that Rocky defense, so that would lead to a Northern field goal. 25-18, the Rocky lead in the fourth quarter. So ensuing kickoff now, Cedric Foster gets the ball about the 10-yard line, and he's gone. A few nice blocks, a juke to his left, and Foster takes this one to the end zone. 32-18, the Rocky lead. They would take that one to the final. Rocky is home next weekend against Carroll College. Another week in the books. We'll see you next time on the Rocky Sports Report. I'm Dustin Askim.
Well, thanks to Dustin for those great highlights, a couple victories for volleyball and a football victory at MSU Northern. Joined now by head football coach Brian Armstrong, who's got his squad at 3-0, ranked number 9 in the country. Those rankings could change later in the week when the first official poll comes out during the regular season. And Brian, a great win for you. We're almost like a broken record. Great road win. You've had 3 in a row now.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to be at home. I was kidding with the bus driver last night. He might have to come pick us up and drive us around the block just so we know it's a football game. But yeah, it's great that we can be 3-0 after 3 road wins. You know, you look at that at the beginning of the season and you're like, whew, that's going to be a tall order. But kids have done a great job, and it'll definitely be nice to be back home.
MSU Northern, very talented offensively and defensively. They were coming off a big home victory. You had to be a little concerned about going up there.
Yep, they're very talented. They play extremely hard. Offensively, that's probably the best football team we've faced. Starting with their offensive front, very big, very physical. The McKinley kid is a heck of a running back, and they've got 2 wide receivers that are very good too. And so, defense, I thought, did an excellent job all day. Of you know, we bent, but we didn't break. We got them into the red zone, but we were able to get turnovers and block kicks and keep them off the scoreboard, which was huge.
Yeah, special teams was really good. We'll come back to that, but did you see any results of the turmoil that they've had in their preseason with the coaching staff and the change from Coach Sampson to Jake Eldridge?
You know, I didn't. I thought that, you know, Jake's done a great job with those guys, and you know, sometimes that can divide a team, but sometimes that can galvanize a team too. And I think that you know, in a situation like that, it seems like they're just playing for each other, which is kind of what it's all about.
Well, let's talk about your special teams. You block a field goal attempt, return it for a touchdown. Cedric returns a kickoff a long ways for a touchdown. You block a punt. Your special teams really played well.
They did. We challenged them this week. We didn't play particularly well in Dillon 2 weeks ago, and so made that a big emphasis this week, and the kids did a nice job and responded, and as a result, I mean, that was the difference in the game.
You didn't seem particularly pleased with the offense or the defense. Is it just a case of we can get better?
It is. You know, defensively, I thought we did a great job, like I said, of keeping them out of the end zone. Offensively, we only had, I think, 55 snaps, and so that makes it tough. They did, you know, their plan was to keep the ball away from us, and they did a pretty good job of that. And sometimes when you're not huddling, it's a little bit about rhythm, and we had a hard time getting in any kind of a rhythm all day. And so kudos to Northern for that, but we need to figure out a way to, you know, if we're not going to get a bunch of touches, to make them count.
And you'll take 3-0 right now.
I will. Yeah, we're happy, but we're definitely not satisfied.
Somewhat of a big game this Saturday. We'll come back to talk about that. So we're going to go to break, and when we come back with Coach Armstrong, the Battling Bears and the Fighting Saints Saturday here in town, the home opener. Stay with us.
Okay, so you're officially off the clock. You better have a truck that can keep up. Ford F-150. From tailgating and touchdowns to suiting up and stepping out. It goes the distance with EcoBoost power and fuel economy, with all the slick details to keep you in the lap of luxury. Maybe that's why an F-Series truck is sold nearly every 42 seconds. Hey, get back to it, weekend warriors.
Now during the Built Ford Tough Sales event, get up to $10,986 total value on F-150s. Only at your local Ford store.
It's hard to be in college and not be focused.
Being an athlete even helps you become more and more focused.
If I don't stay focused, I fall way behind on schoolwork.
A lot of homework on the bus and in hotel room.
This is one of the most formational times in your life, and so it's important to make healthy choices.
Because people who are tobacco free just do better in school.
I don't use tobacco. I feel like your body is your temple.
I don't think I'd be the person I am today if I had used tobacco products.
I'm focused on a tobacco-free generation.
Upgrade. It means your day just got better. That's the idea behind First Rewards World MasterCard from First Interstate Bank. With every purchase, you earn points you can use to upgrade just about any aspect of your life. Even better, rewards come from your world, your neighbors, your favorite local businesses. It's the difference between dining out and dining out in style, your style. First Rewards World MasterCard from First Interstate Bank. Your style, your rewards.
Well, you hear that song, The Road is Long? Well, it's going to end as the Battling Bears will finally get home. Now, do I have to tell you and show you where Herb Clint Field is? Do you still remember where your home field is?
We can get there.
Well, somewhat of a big game, somewhat of an understatement when I say that one of the top 10 teams in the country against you, also in the top 10, will battle as Carroll College comes to town, and it's always a war.
Yeah, you know, Carroll, one of the blue bloods of the NAIA, and we're aspiring to become one of those. And so it's going to be nice to be at home. Going to be nice to play Carroll at home. And you know, our kids always get excited, as everybody does, to play Carroll. And you know, it should be a heck of a football game on a nice Saturday afternoon.
What will be different, Brian, in your preparations to get ready for a home game, other than you don't have to get on a bus?
Yeah, I mean, not a whole bunch. I think it'll be a little bit nicer for the kids to be able to sleep in their own bed and not have to ride a bus and eat dinner in a hotel and all that stuff. But so hopefully our kids will be able to get a little bit of rest this week, at least later in the week. But nothing changes a whole bunch with that.
And relatively healthy coming out of the MSU Northern game?
Yeah, as far as I know, they get in and see the trainer this afternoon. We had a couple guys, had an offensive lineman that went down. I don't think it's too serious, and hopefully we'll be getting a guy or two back now off the injured list too. So we're hoping.
Will you get some sleep this week, or will it be one of those weeks that you're up a lot?
I'm always up a lot. My wife says that I sleep like a baby. I'm up every 2 hours crying. So.
Well, that's good. Great job to go 3-0, and good luck against Carroll this week.
Thank you.
Head coach Brian Armstrong. Let's go now to a look around Rocky Mountain College athletics.
This country wasn't discovered, it was built. One home, one neighborhood, one school at a time. The future, it has to be built too, out of concrete, out of drywall and 2x4s. At ProBuild, we believe there's a builder inside us all. We believe it's time we put them to work.
My bank has been in Montana for over 90 years.
My bank is a real partner in my growing business.
My bank helped me make a great idea work.
My bank is American Federal.
My bank is American Federal.
Our bank is American Federal.
You live for life's finest moments, like seeing nature firsthand, teaching something old to someone new, experiencing the thrill in their face, and doing it again and again. Join us on the water in the very best boat for these moments. Tracker boats, built for life.
Montana Honda and Marine in Billings. And welcome back. We talked last week about the Battling Bears defeating number 1, number 2, and number 8, not knowing where they'd fall in the polls. How about number 1? Lori Kelly with the top-ranked team in the country in NAI volleyball. And let's talk first about that, Lori. That's got to be a tremendous honor for you and your program.
Well, it is. I was pleasantly surprised, but you know, there was a lot of talk after we beat Texas Brownsville. And then we solidified it with a win against Concordia as well. And so then people were like, wow, it wasn't a fluke, because you can beat a good team. A good team can lose, you know. And so then the next day, again, then we played Biola and beat them in 4. And so, you know, they just said, you have to be number 1. And so everybody voted us 1. I kind of voted us 2 still, because I didn't know if I was ready for that. But I did. And we're gonna accept the challenge, and we're gonna keep playing as hard as we're playing. So.
And then you gathered up all the uniforms and took them home and put big targets on the back of the uniforms, right? Because now everybody's shooting at you to be number 1.
And it probably wouldn't have mattered, because we probably would have been maybe number 15, and we still, you know, we're the only team in the Frontier Conference that was ranked. So no matter what, they're trying to beat us so that they can get in there, and that's the only way they're going to get in there, because nobody else in the conference really won any big games.
Now you've played a real tough, maybe an understatement, non-conference schedule. This past weekend and week you got into conference play. What's the difference? What's the mindset difference you have when you go into conference play?
Well, it is kind of hard. I mean, when we're on the road, we don't really prepare for those teams all that much. We have 4 games in 2 days. And so, you know, you got to play hard and make adjustments really quick. We're very prepared for the Frontier Conference. We have film on them, we study them, and, you know, and sometimes we study them too much and we still have to play. You know, at any time, our Frontier Conference, we have great players out here in Montana, and of course LC and Westminster get really feed out of Salt Lake and Spokane, so there's good players everywhere.
So you opened up conference play at home on a Thursday night against Westminster, you won in 3. Saturday afternoon against Montana Western, you won in 3. You got to play a lot of players. Were those good victories for you?
You know, they were. Our kids were like, oh, yay. And I'm like, you know, you should be really happy about these. I know it wasn't Texas Brownsville, but anybody can beat you at any time, and you still have to understand that, you know, if anybody could beat you, what a celebration it would be. And I know what it's like, and you know, when you play that top team and win, and you're so happy, and it's very difficult. But you know, they brought it all weekend, and we had a great crowd, and I appreciate that. And people are coming out and watching us, and lots of great compliments on the kids, how hard they play, and so it's been a great year.
So 12 wins in a row, the number 1 ranking in the country. Now you get to go back on the road, so maybe it will humble you a little bit.
Yeah.
But a tough road trip to MSU Northern and Great Falls.
Yeah, you know, and these kids could easily drop a set, and we'll have to see how they react, because, I mean, they react great dropping a set or 2 to the number, you know, 1 and 2 team back then, and they came out fighting. So, you know, I'm not worried about their mental part, because they really try hard. But, you know, you have to be on your game all the time.
Any surprises for you as a coach? I know you're one of the Raiders in the league, and are you surprised at anybody how well they're playing, or maybe somebody who's not playing very well?
Yeah, I am surprised. You mean about ourselves or somebody else?
Somebody else.
Oh, you know, like I look at Texas
You're
Brownsville.
Not surprised about you.
I'm not at all. But Texas Brownsville, they have like 11 foreigners, and you know, they played this weekend. They played Columbia, and they were good, and Park was good, and we're talking a lot of foreign teams out there. We have 1 foreigner, and she's amazing, but I couldn't imagine having 10 of them. I am glad I have a lot of Montana kids, the area kids. I love our players around this area. I think they work hard, and they love volleyball, and I want to keep it that way.
And you had a National Player of the Week, as you just mentioned.
You know, she was amazing, and if she didn't get it, I would have been so surprised. I mean, she had 16 to 21 kills in every match. She doesn't take a game off, as well as this weekend. We're talking 18 kills against Westminster and 16 against Western, and that's in 3 games, you know.
And how much better can your team get?
Well, we know what we need to work on, and our block is amazing, and you know, they've really done well this year. We know we are still working on passing. It's always in the works. Every team is, though. So we need to solidify our passing, and they're working hard at it, though.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so far.
Keep it rolling.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you next week about
Thanks.
the 2 on the road. Corey Kelly with the number 1 ranked volleyball team in the country, first time in school history. Let's take a look now at our student athletes of the week and our plays of the week. Our student athletes of the week had outstanding performances for the Battling Bears volleyball and football teams. In volleyball, it's starting to sound like a broken record, but our honoree once again this week is senior Young Young. The 6-foot middle blocker from China had 34 blocks in last week's wins over Westminster College and Montana Western, both 3-game sweeps for the nation's top-ranked volleyball team. Young has been the Frontier Conference Player of the Week for the last 3 weeks and was also the NAIA National Player of the Week last week, a first for a Rocky Mountain College volleyball player. And on the gridiron, our football winner this week is Cedric Foster. The 5'9", 200-pound senior running back kick return specialist had some huge plays for the Battling Bears in last weekend's 32-18 Frontier win over MSU Northern. The explosive transfer had some big plays running and receiving the football, but perhaps the biggest plays of the game came in the special teams as Foster returned a kick 90 yards for a touchdown that clinched the Battling Bears' victory over MSU Northern. Congrats to our student athletes of the week. And our play of the week is Foster's kick return for a touchdown. The game clincher came in the fourth quarter as the 5'9", 200-pound transfer, he caught the ball at the 10-yard line and scooted 90 yards up the center of the field for the touchdown. Foster got great blocking on his return that saw the Bears have great special teams the entire day with a blocked field goal attempt that was returned for a touchdown and a blocked punt on the afternoon. The nationally ranked Bears moved to 3-0 on the season and 2-0 in Frontier Conference play.
Upgrade. It means your day just got better. That's the idea behind First Rewards World MasterCard from First Interstate Bank. With every purchase, you earn points you can use to upgrade just about any aspect of your life. Even better, rewards come from your world, your neighbors, your favorite local businesses. It's the difference between dining out and dining out in style, your style. First Rewards World MasterCard from First Interstate Bank. Your style, your rewards.
All right, sports fans, it's game time at the Built Ford Tough Sales event. And when it comes to trucks, stats don't lie. F-150 with EcoBoost has smash-mouth power with efficiency. And with best-in-class payload, boom, F-150 hauls in the Hail Mary. And here's a stat, pal. F-Series has been America's truck for 37 straight years. And that's a dynasty, baby.
Now during the Built Ford Tough Sales event, get up to $10,986 total value on F-150, only at your local Ford store.
As a student, as an athlete, it is so important to stay focused.
When I'm not on the field, I'm in the classroom. When I'm not in the classroom, I'm in the books.
So you have to focus and prioritize what's important.
The choices I make on a day-to-day basis are huge. Not using tobacco, it all benefits who I am and who I am as a basketball player.
When you step on the mat, it's only you and another person, and making healthy choices is the first step.
Without making those healthy choices, I can be held back in my performance and I can hurt my team.
It's very important how the community sees you. I'm focused on a tobacco-free generation.
Well, there's a lot to be said about senior leadership. Corey Bummer is that guy for the Rocky Mountain College football team in his final year as a senior out of Laurel High School. And Corey, let's first talk about, well, welcome to the show, but first talk about last year and your finish at MSU Northern. Saturday's finish was a lot more fun for you.
It was a little different for me, and I liked it. I was able to walk off the field with a win and on my own. You know, I didn't have the injury, and we came out on top, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, last year Corey broke his leg the last play of the game in Havre against MSU Northern, so he couldn't go on to the playoffs. So I don't even want to talk about playoffs right now, but you have to be ecstatic with a 3-0 start.
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain about that with starting off with 3 away games like that. You can't really complain saying, you know, 1-0 every week and like that. I mean.
Now, in your situation, being a senior leader, what's different about being a senior on a football team, especially with a lot of young guys?
It's just like you're the guy, you know. You have to just have that leadership like that. It's weird each year going from kind of not knowing what you want, like how you're supposed to do it, but now as a senior, it's kind of like on us, and we have to find a way to get our guys going and everyone else around like involved like that.
You've almost gone from the pupil to the teacher, right?
Exactly.
Now let's talk about this week. It's got to be a special game for you. 2 nationally ranked teams Carroll College comes to town, and you haven't had a lot of chances to play against Carroll.
Yeah. The one time, I mean, every time we've played Carroll within like these last 2 years, it's a huge game. It goes right down to the wire. It's a back and forth. It's a battle. It's a war every game. But the one time we beat them 2 years ago at home, myself and our quarterback didn't get to play in that game, so I'm a little antsy. I'm trying to get that W. I've never beat Carroll, so hopefully we can get that done on Saturday.
Now, what's it going to be like to play at home finally after 3 weeks on the road?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think our whole team is too. After three away games like that, it feels like an eternity since we've played in Billings, so it should be a good atmosphere and a good thing coming Saturday.
Maybe get a lot of those Laurel fans to come out and cheer you on.
Yeah.
Well, you know, how good can this team be? I mean, being a senior and being a leader, do you think you can get better as the season goes on?
I think so. I mean, we have to take every game, just go week by week, 1-0. That's what our motto is. Just take it game by game. We can't really look into the future like that. We just, with being in the frontier, no game is yours really. You have to take it week by week, and every game's a dogfight. So.
And you've done that real well so far, 3-0. Congrats on the start.
Yeah, thank you.
Corey Bummer, the senior out of Laurel High School, a standout and a senior leader on this football team. And it's the Battling Bears and Carroll College this weekend that Corey gets to play in. When we take a break, we'll come back, but let's now go to the standings. And at the top of the Frontier standings, Rocky Mountain College.
My bank has been in Montana for over 90 years.
My bank is a real partner in my growing business.
My bank helped me make a great idea work.
My bank is American Federal.
My bank is American Federal.
Our bank is American Federal.
You live for life's finest moments, like seeing nature firsthand, teaching something old to someone new, experiencing the thrill in their face, and doing it again and again. Join us on the water in the very best boat for these moments. Tracker boats, built for life.
Montana Honda and Marine in Billings. Well, that wraps things up for this week's Rocky Report. It was a good week last week and a big week coming up. Don't forget that two of the top 10 teams in the country will meet at Herb Clint Field on Saturday as Carroll College comes to town with that #2 ranking against the #9 Battling Bears and football. That game will kick off at 1 o'clock, the home opener for Rocky Mountain College. Should be a great one with a big crowd. The volleyball team on the road, soccer teams will be around. It should be another outstanding week. Let's thank Corey Bummer, the outstanding defensive back from Laurel, for joining us this week, along with Coach Brian Armstrong and Lori Kelly. We'll see you next week with the Rocky Report. I'm Bruce Parker.